So I wanted to talk about a viral video or a topic that's been going on based around a Islamic city in Plano, Texas. And essentially, you'll see the explanation in the video, but it already exists. This is Epic City, and you'll see the breakdown of how many plots of land and homes, but it's centered around this mosque. And there's 400 acres that have been purchased. I don't know where all of this money is coming from, but someone or the people of the original Epic City purchased 400 acres, and they're planning to make another city. And you'll see in the video it says Epic City 2.0. So city council and people have gone to the city council and explained how they feel, and whether they're for or against it. They were given the opportunity to voice their opinions at this city council.
Collin County just wrapped up an hours-long debate over a proposed 400-acre Muslim-centric community.
Yeah, the project is being developed by the East Plano Islamic Center and would be called Epic City if it ever gets off the ground, which is no sure thing. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Lawrence.
I'm Cynthia Izaguirre. Tonight, Governor Abbott is prompting a new investigation into the community. Richard Solomon joins us live with more, along with concerns from some Collin County residents. Richard?
Well, yeah, guys, look, this public hearing started around 1:30 this afternoon, and I can tell you we've been in that courtroom all day. It just ended. The public speaking portion of the meeting, for that matter, just ended just before this newscast started. And this development that's in question is here in Collin County, but it's already getting a lot of controversy. And like you said, it's not even built yet. Plans aren't even finalized for it as of now. But for the last several hours or so, we heard from people who live in this community as they sounded off with their thoughts and opinions on this development. Take a listen.
Is this what you want between Collin and Hunt counties? I sure don't.
We must advocate for an inclusive Texas where everyone, regardless of race, religion, or background, can thrive.
Now, we've heard from at least 60 people. It's been so crowded that some had to listen in the hallways. The development in question, a Muslim-centric neighborhood that would bring 1,000 homes, a mosque, a school, and retail space and other facilities to 400 acres just north of Josephine. It's a project from the East Plano Islamic Center, which brought the land back in September. Now, it's just not Collin County residents who are weighing in. Earlier today, Governor Abbott announced he's asked the Texas Rangers to investigate any possible criminal activity. This is on top of a slew of other lawsuits and other agencies investigating Epic. But here in this room, people made their cases clear.
Can you please deny or delay any development decisions for 1 year?
I believe we do not want this in our backyard.
Singling out and fear-mongering Muslim institutions erodes the very values we claim to protect: equality, liberty, and justice.
Now, the developers were in that public hearing, but again, they say nothing is finalized and plans are still being worked on as we speak. Well, of course, keep you updated on this and have more later on tonight at 10 for you. For now, live in Collin County this evening, I'm Richard Solomon.
So you see the explanation there. Some people gave reasons why they were for it and reasons why they were against it. But from a state level, if you are the governor, you have to give an explanation as to why you would block the development without being unconstitutional and just coming off flat out racist. This is the point I want people watching to understand or think about. What is the difference between this and the Jewish community or, say, Native Americans? I have to play devil's advocate, right? And the only difference I can see is there's some serious concerns as far as Sharia law. And now this organization of people has hired a defense attorney, and it's going to end up being one big mess in court. But Greg Abbott has launched an investigation, and we'll have to see what happens there. But the Jewish community have their own police force, their own schools. So what's the difference? You would have to ask yourself, how can you allow one and not the other? That's the only stipulation I would say. But here's more of an
The
explanation.
developers of a planned Islamic-centered housing community announced the hiring of a high-profile criminal defense attorney today. The move comes in response to Governor Abbott's statements that a dozen state agencies are investigating potential illegal activities conducted by the developer and its affiliated entities. Fox 4's Lori Brown live with the story. Lori.
Clarice, attorney Dan Codwell says that his clients, the East Plano Islamic Center, is the victim of racial profiling, and he called the governor's statements an embarrassment.
But what's happened primarily from Governor Abbott's office is hate speech.
The East Plano Islamic Center, along with Community Capital Partners, the for-profit developer of Epic City, hired high-profile attorney Dan Cogdell. Cogdell specializes in federal white-collar criminal cases.
He has tweeted that Sharia law will be implemented. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie.
Now, here's where I disagree with this attorney. He's a defense attorney. He's going to do his job. He's paid to say things like this. But are you telling me that there's no way none of this is going to happen? There's no such thing. There's no Sharia law that's going to be implemented in any way, shape, or form. Come on. That's just, it's ridiculous to make that assumption. But here is the breakdown of everything that's going to be associated with this Epic Center. And the problem with this attorney saying that is all of these things have already been put out there. It's too late.
My name is Douglas Deaton, and I'm a resident of Collin County. I retired from the Plano Police Department after 26 years of full-time law enforcement service, and I dealt with representatives of Epic many times when I was the sergeant for the Plano Police Department, the training sergeant for the Plano PD. There seems to be a general misunderstanding that we're talking about a plan to build an Islamic Sharia-friendly community. The Epic neighborhood already exists in Plano. It's been there for nearly 12 years, with 74 residential properties, a massive mosque, schools, a medical clinic, and multiple businesses. It also has an office of an Islamic financing institution called the UIF Corporation. The UIF Corporation is not a bank. It's a Michigan-based corporation whose publicly stated purpose is to, quote, engage in financial transactions that are Sharia compliant, end quote. Those are their words, not mine. The local government officials south of here have known for years that only Muslims can purchase homes inside that neighborhood. You have to be a member of their mosque to live there. The first house built in that neighborhood was built right next to the Plano Police Academy. It's a huge structure with two separate front doors. The rear of the property is just a few feet from a large outdoor warning siren. The house has a large second-story platform overlooking the restricted access parking lot where the police department stored specialized vehicles such as bomb trucks, bomb disposal equipment, and the SWAT team's armored vehicle. I am a court-recognized expert in SWAT team tactics and procedures. That house has all the hallmarks of a fortress and a command post. The rear of the house looks a lot like an observation post and a shooting platform. Why would somebody choose to build a house so close to a giant warning siren and a police training site? Why would someone build a huge platform overlooking all those specialized police emergency vehicles? The first owner of that house is a leader in the Epic neighborhood, and he is also the co-founder of the Yaqeen Institute for Islamic Research. And I urge everyone to visit their website and read what it has to say about instituting Sharia law. This is not a matter of radicals hiding in plain sight. They're not hiding. They've been open about their beliefs and their intent. Local government decision makers have failed to ask hard questions for fear of negative publicity and being labeled as bigots. I'm not here to spread innuendo or to make unfounded accusations. I'm asking everyone to simply look at the evidence and the confirmed facts that are already in existence. Thank you for your time, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Deaton. Do we have other speakers that would like to?
CCP purchased 402 acres in unincorporated Collin County by Josephine, Texas, to build a mosque and housing development called Epic City.
There's nothing like this ever been attempted in the entire world. And inshallah ta'ala, we're going to be a pioneering project where we're going to demonstrate what it means to be a faith-based, neighborly-based, family-based community that inshallah ta'ala embodies the values of our faith.
This is a presentation posted on YouTube earlier.
Brothers and sisters, we have sold 480 lots. Takbir. That's 480 shares with more than 350 investors across the U.S.
Cogdell takes issue with the governor comparing the development to a compound.
There are no underage children being sexually molested. There are no cache of weapons. For him to call this a compound is an outright lie, and it's an insult, and it's doing nothing but try to demonize faithful, religious, honest, hardworking people.
Welcome to Epic 2.0. Epic City is more than just a neighborhood. It's a way of life.
Monday, hundreds of people turned out to a Collin County Commissioner's Court meeting, filling the hallways to express their concerns. Judge Chris Hill said the county's powers are limited.
The county does not have the type of zoning powers that municipalities generally have.
Constitutional law attorney David Cole, not associated with this case, said churches can't get into the real estate business.
If it's the church running the real estate development, well, that gets into issues of what a nonprofit can do. If they're in some kind of combination with each other, that raises questions about whether the church is trying to get into the zoning business.
In this case, a for-profit, Community Capital Partners, was set up.
But if you've got a church that's doing its thing and you've got developers who aren't really related with that doing their own thing right next to it, that's just a private development. That happens all the time. So an important question is everybody incorporated everything correctly so that all these entities are staying in their lane? If they are, these investigations are probably going to fizzle out.
Cole says Epic does need to be careful about making statements like this.
A meticulously designed community that brings Islam to the forefront.
If you say our group favors one religion over another, the minute somebody feels mistreated, they're going to quote those advertisements back to.
So there you have it. As I said, this is all going to end up being one big mess in court. I'll try to keep a close eye on this because Greg Abbott seems like he's drawing a line in the sand and he's not going to let it happen. But please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. And please leave a comment as far as whether you think this should happen and it's a good thing for this community in Texas or not, if why you think that. Thank you for watching.